at least this game, like, they have some proper lane shove. Like, last game, it felt, because Viper's lane was so bad, and he didn't get to go bots. Like, you had Void Spear, Ursa, and Clockwork Warlock. Like, all 5 of their heroes actually couldn't push lanes at all. Like, you couldn't play Dota that game. That draft was actually so bad, the more I think
That
about
Warlock
it.
pick was awkward.
It was
really
super awkward. Did not like it. Like, it's what you said, right? Like, if you had a 5 who deal damage, like Grimshook, and can push lanes for you, at least your cores can group up and function. If your creepways don't push out, you don't get to play Dota. That's like, it's the one thing that I think separates pro play the most from pub play, is the usage of creepways to read the map.
Absolutely, and Terrorblade is also someone who can keep the lanes pushed out and control.
Yeah.
So they shouldn't have an issue with finding farm or making...
Oh, that's sort of smart. So they don't know what NoPing are going to put mid, right? So they're like making it flexible. They can put the DK offlane or they can put the Viper offlane based on the pick. I like this theory from first pick. I mean, I'm liking Quincy Crew's draft way more now that they picked this tanky DK who can actually stand in front for his Viper, Lion, Snapfire. I don't think Viper is like this old 2012 hero where he's the tankiest hero in the game. He has like a Vanguard or a mech or something. It's not the same hero.
I think Slex was talking to me about how you were saying that Luna's kind of a soft counter to DK. Was that you who was talking about it?
Yeah, I was thinking about it in lane, just theorizing it, but I don't know if it's true with Abaddon. I think you need a range hero in order to like use the aura to hit him a lot and sort of like, get him low so you can go on him and kill him.
Okay. This Leshrac pick makes sense because when I was looking at NoPing's draft, I was thinking, where is the damage right now? Like you're
Isn't
gonna
that
have
lane hard though versus Viper?
You're gonna have Tidehunter and Abaddon and Tiny kind of bodying, right? But Tiny's damage got nerfed and he's going to be a support, so that output's going to come out a lot later. Tidehunter, you don't really think of him as a damage dealer, and neither for Abaddon.
That's a good point. Like when they cast Ravage, they need someone to run in and burst someone.
Yeah, so I think that's the idea behind the Leshrac pick. His lane does not look very easy.
I mean, I actually don't know. If Tide has a good enough lane and Tiny can rotate, because that's very possible versus Terrorblade, right? Leaving a Tidehunter alone. I can see this Viper dying a lot. He's not very mobile, and you can toss him back, and Leshrac's one of the highest damage mids.
And the way that we've seen these 4 Tinies being played is they actually move around a lot. They don't really care so much about pulling these creep waves and doing things like that post-minute 4. They do run around from water rune to water rune to water rune. They run around the lane. So I can see the Tiny helping Lesh a lot. Lesh definitely solved the damage issue because they had a very, very scary lack of damage on NoPing. But Quincy Crew have really good wave clear. I feel like they can hold out for Terrorblade.
I think like we have so little data on these teams, and like the game 1 and 2 has flipped. I think Quincy Crew has a better meta draft. That's my like they have Terrorblade, they have DK.
But you can also think that they picked Leshrac to deal with the Terrorblade as well.
Leshrac's not good for Terrorblade.
You don't think he can just clear the illusions on lane?
You gotta see how it plays out in the game, friends.
The builds on Terrorblade are too fast.
I have exciting information to share.
Oh, it's
You may think that this is the last game, but I can confirm that we will indeed have Nigma versus VP after this series, so I hate to cut you off. But we need to wrap this up. We need to find out how this series plays out. Game number 3, take it away, Sunsfan and Cinderin.
Thank you. Thank you, Tsunami. My name is Sunsfan. Joining me is Cinderman.
Don't you call me a robot ever again with that intro.
Keep talking.
No,
Keep it up.
That's it?
Keep it up, Cinderman. So we have game 3 between NoPing and Quincy Crew. After game 1, we were not expecting a game 3 to even be a thing, Cinderman, but NoPing came back with a vengeance. And now, I mean, not to cut you off before you even speak, because I know how triggered you get by that, but if Quincy Crew loses, they will face, I mean, either team, they will face EG. How sad would it be to see them not even play a team out of the Americas at the major as an upper bracket team to start the entire tournament?
If either team loses to EG, that's their fate. If EG were to lose the follow-up series, then EG has already played the other teams, right? So they have had cross-region play. It's a sad fate to lose this series in general, obviously. I mean, at the very least, you're in the upper bracket, so you get that second chance. But I don't think either of these teams really wants to face EG just because of the familiarity factor, right? You'd rather play against a team from a different region. But we'll see. We'll see who earns the right to avoid EG tomorrow.
Yeah.
I will say this time around, I think, from a drafting perspective, I think Quincy handled some problems like the panel pointed out. Oh, they're going to run into Oscar here.
Yeah, our Spike will start things out into, Dragon Tail not there because of the avalanche from afar, but the Scatter Blast will help them close the gap. Dragon Tail now, Dark Magoo on the sideline, he's just going to let Oscar die. And that is first blood, the way of Quincy crew, so getting active extremely early here.
Yep, 5-man rotation into the jungle. Pretty standard stuff with the smoke, and they are the ones to find the kill. So what Quincy did a good job with this time around from a drafting perspective, like the panel talked about, they have better wave clear. I think they have a more clear-cut game plan. I think their lineup is more similar to what they were running in Game 1. It's not exactly the same, but it just looks better. It feels better to look at it. You see the plan. You think the lanes are going to work out better. For NoPing, what I see is an insane timing minute 15-20 when Luna is online, when Leshrac is online, when Tide has Ravage and 1 aura item at least. This seems like a very good pipe game. There are definitely a lot of opportunities for NoPing in this game to group up and fight before Terrorblade is ready. So I definitely see a clear way for both teams to win, and just got to see how the lanes play out, right? Like in game number 1, NoPing got completely destroyed in lanes. Game 2, they turned it around and actually won 2 of their lanes. This time around, they do lose the first blood. It goes the way of Lion. Not the best hero to get the first blood on in terms of just raw lane impact. He's buying a stick and a salve with his gold. And gonna try to pressure bottom together with Leslau on the Dragon Knight.
Yeah, and some other aspect we don't always bring up, but I feel like in this patch in particular, especially with that second Rosh, just Roshan capability is really important to talk about. But neither team are like crazy Rosh takers, but Quincy does have a little minus armor with the little Shredder, and then the other side, you have the Curse of Avernus and the minus armor technically from Gush, but nothing that will just like take Rosh instantly.
No, it's definitely not great. If I had to pick my fastest Rosh taking team here, is probably the Radiant because of Luna Aura. I think that overpowers the Terrorblade. Unless, like, if Terrorblade has like 2 or 3 items and pops meta, right? Then sure, but usually you're looking at a first Rosh somewhere around the 15 to 20 minute mark if you have a strategy that's built for taking Rosh, except Ursa strategies that just kill it at 10, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see. Curious about the mid matchup. We've got Quinn now playing as Viper, very different from his 2 last games where he played Spirit type heroes. This time he's playing a more static hero, more stand and deliver style, and they instead have Leslau on their catch, Dragon Knight offlane, as we've seen multiple times in this tournament. We're probably going Blink Dagger, first major item, so the roles are reversed. I personally feel like Quinn is the best on the Spirits when he gets to take initiative, when he gets to play fast. But they were probably concerned that their laning stage would go too badly. The Viper offlane just was not great last game, and they're going to mix it up.
Yeah, I mean, Season 1, this is something I've talked about before with Quincy crew in particular. They would kind of pull the EG type of card where they pick a Quinn Spirit type hero first 2 and then just, let the chips fall where they may, and he would usually win his lane. And they would never flex like this Viper. This would always be a Lelis offlane Viper. But this season, they've definitely switched it up, like you said. They've gone back and forth between the 2. And, I mean, they've had a lot of success, obviously, or else they wouldn't be here to begin with. Yeah. We'll see how this works out this game.
For NoPing, we've got HFN on another really fast farming hero. Last game he was the Gyro. This time he's going to be playing the Luna that Quincy ran in Game 1. So definitely look for him getting a lot of farm, similar to the Terrorblade. An interesting hero versus hero matchup, by the way. Historically speaking, this has been very Terrorblade favored. He can cast Reflection on the Luna, and then he would just overpower her with Metamorphosis. I think there's a possibility for Luna to win this matchup at certain parts of the game. I think in the past we've seen some carry Lunas against Terrorblade go Aghanim Scepter. It's like 2nd or 3rd item. Because either you wipe out all of Terrorblade's illusions with the Eclipse, or you kill him as well if he doesn't have BKB popped. And you could get some serious burst out of a Ravage into Eclipse combo, or Tiny combo into it with the Lesh follow-up.
Speaking of meta,
so we'll see.
Set up with that cookie into the Scatter Blast. Yawar right-clicking from afar. They just need some vision here. Oscar attempting to TP out. Looks like he'll be good to go.
He'll make it.
Going to the Tier 1 tower, actually. So
no salve on him. Is there a salve? There's a salve on Matthew coming in for the medic. The medic play, and we're straight back to okay.
That is a very large toss there onto LOA, into the Avalanche. Yawar still has that meta pop. They won't be able to close this gap any further. It looks like Snapfire's Courier will not die. Wait, it goes back to where Matthew was, so. It does it very slow, though. Oh, and ends up getting it. That right click through the fog. Very successful for NoPing. I mean, Quincy crew, this is extremely early on, but already a 1K net worth lead, which it feels like every game so far there's been a somewhat substantial lead at like the 5-6 minute mark.
I feel like every game so far, Oscar has been bodied in the offlane. He has 1 CS.
I did not see that.
I was like, where's the 1K
Wow.
net worth lead coming from? Yeah, you got first blood, but the cores are pretty even in the top. I was like, I'm counting cores. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's the 6th? And I just had to keep going down the list until I found Oscar.
Wow. Yeah, that
Acting
is,
it out in last place.
That is rough stuff.
Oof.
I mean, he bounced back last game, but obviously,
He did.
yeah, every single game he's gotten off to a slow start for sure.
Definitely.
I mean, is that more, I mean, not to be negative, is that more on him mechanically talking about, or is Quincy Crew doing something to, as Quinn is just going to chase down Matthew? Looks like he'll tick out on the high ground.
I will say, I think in both games, Quincy did a good job in the safe lane. But even with how well they played, he should not be losing the lanes this hard. That's just my 2 cents. Just flat out based on seeing how similar lanes have gone in the rest of the tournament, I think it made sense that Quincy were winning them, but they were just winning them by too much.
Right.
And this is no exception. Tied now up to 6 CS minute 5, being bullied out of lane by Snapfire, who wisely, in my opinion, did not go the little Shredder build, but rather focuses on the Magic Burst. A much better way of dealing with Tidehunter in lane is just to take advantage of the fact that, you've got Kraken Shell and you're going to break that physical damage, but, you just burst him out every time. LOA getting a nice little sneaky ghost pull here in between the trees, so they're stabilizing top once again for Yawar.
Yeah, in terms of the mid lane, 30-7 for the Lesh versus the Viper 32-35-4, I should say, as he's in the jungle right now. So, I mean, the CS discrepancy is going to be a little bit... I mean, both heroes are pretty good at going to the jungle and getting these creeps.
I feel like this lane is largely just a draw, right? Like, in the start, you can maybe try to put some pressure as either hero, but ultimately both heroes just start shoving out the wave with Nether Toxin and with Lightning Storm and Pulse Nova, and then you just go and take a side camp like every minute. So, pretty straightforward stuff here. Quinn has managed to build himself a little bit of an advantage. He's up 10 CS currently with 3 coming into the tower. Now he's going to try to wander to the other side to steal this camp and take the bounty. Feeling confident because of the haste rune. This is good stuff coming out from Quinn here.
Yeah, and LOA taking out a pretty important courier. That's the boots onto Oscar.
Oh, and he's even going to go
into
on.
Quinn, and yeah, this is going to be a free... Although, reinforcements for NoPing have arrived. So Quinn trying to mitigate as much as possible for his friend, but he's not going to be able to save him in the end. But the cookie comes out. Lesh has the Aphotic Shield applied, but the Viper Strike is still ticking
good body
through
blocks.
into the Nether Toxin. It looks like he will survive.
Wow, nicely done from Matthew.
So
I
no
was
kill there for
sure
Quincy
that was
Crew.
a dead Lesh. They actually end up getting 0 kills. Like, so what Quinn could have done there if he wanted, he could have popped the haste and run down the Tide, right? That guy would 100% have been dead. But he wanted to get the bigger kill on the Lesh, and if it hadn't been for Matthew, that would have been a better choice. So good job there from NoPing. Quinn will, however, still steal the stack.
Yep, absolutely.
And
Gets
deward.
literally all the creeps, and now Matthew, like you said, trying to deward there, but you are, with that meta, it's going to be forced back thanks to the Gush and Avalanche. And, I mean, look at the amalgamation of heroes here in the top lane for NoPing, Cinderin.
Yeah, I mean, they do get the... They do stay alive, but in terms of resources, they're getting outmaneuvered, right? Because now you're exposed bottom. You have a lane that's completely empty. It's a 3k gold lead just in terms of raw resources being mined. Tide has 12 CS minutes, 7:30. Is having an absolute travesty of a game here. And I don't know how you recover as Tide from a game like this. Like, this hero really is a ramp-up hero where you get something out of your lane, you keep building. You're going to be a walking Ravage and basically nothing else at this rate. And that Ravage is probably at minute 10 even.
Well, it's strange because, like, you have this dilemma, and you can tell me which decision you would make here, but you have a Luna that wants to kill Stack. Obviously, once you level up a bit, Tide can take out Stacks, but do you want to give it to Tide instead of the Luna, who wants to, you know, just snowball from here?
It takes Tide really long to take
Viper Strike onto Dark Magoo. He can do it, Cinder. Aphotic Shield, going to mitigate some of that damage now.
I
mean, Quinn's
don't know.
not leveling right now, mid.
It takes Tide really long to take an Ancient Stack. Like, he can only take big camp.
Yeah, big camps. I mean,
but that just got stolen by Viper.
Yeah,
so you don't have it. Oh, this time is
mana
not
drain.
gonna
Quinn
live.
from the low ground as well as Matthew throws out an Avalanche, but they will lose their Abaddon regardless. 4k net worth lead at 8.5 minutes. This is rougher so far than game 1.
It's pretty similar, and the causes are also relatively similar, right? The top lane, the off lane for NoPing has been absolutely just flat out run over in a way I've barely seen in this tournament so far, especially for how relatively un-one-sided the matchup is. It's Snap Terrorblade against Tiny. It's not that bad. You can like pull waves, Tiny can sustain, but they have just been flat out beaten. All right, they're gonna get a kill here onto LOA, so it's something. Going the way of Matthew, but this is a really steep hill to climb. The advantage, it's not just your 4K behind, it's against Terrorblade Dragon Knight Viper. Like this 3-core gets so strong in 10 minutes. And are you gonna have what it takes to fight back?
Yeah, Ring of Health now on Tidehunter, who will eventually go for the hood.
Oh my god, he's so far behind. I still kind of can't believe it.
Look away, Syndren, look away. We're gonna have a gank potential here from Quincy Crew.
If you look away from your shard.
That's too late for that one. Lesla pops that ult. Here's the Ravage coming in. It's going to hit 4 heroes for Quincy Crew.
That's a good one.
And that is a lot of burst damage from Dark Magoo, and that is a dead Leslau. Huge kill, and Oscar could use all this XP, of course. Lightning Storm going to slow down LOA. Anchor Smash to follow. Don't think they can actually finish this off, though. Looks like they're getting baited a bit as Yawar still in that meta form. They can't find a kill themselves, though. Feels like they really need that Dragon Tail setup.
It's a Ravage for 1 kill, but it's a big kill, right? It's a core. You're struggling. You're behind. It's well worth it. I think you got to do it. And the meta was popped, so you got that out. You defended your top tier 1.
Sorry, not to interrupt. Have you noticed the farm on Lesh? It's actually real bad. That's kind of shocking. His Boots of Travel, I thought it was decent time, but he's way down in net worth right now compared to...
Yeah, he's 1K behind Quinn. Yeah, it's 30 CS. But it's one of these things where it's like cause and effect, right? He probably feels pressure to rotate to help out other lanes because there's got to be communication in the game, right? Like, you're talking about, okay, how are your games going? What do you need? How are you going to play around each other? And I don't think Dark Mago's sacrificing farm is necessarily a bad move because if he just plays for himself, I think they end up just getting caught and overrun. He needs to take some sort of initiative, and it is coming at the cost of CS. Now it could come at the cost of his life. If they rotate anyone down to Quinn, no, they're not. He's going to be... No one can connect at all.
And like we could see, Quinn does have the Boots of Travel as well. We'll be working towards a Dragon Lance as MSS now has Finger at his disposal.
Nope.
See what they can set up here. Of course, Blink Dagger is kind of the go
Double
time
TPs, they're going to smoke here.
for Leslau when that comes online.
Snap plus DK, they want to wrap around mid.
Oh, yeah.
Very good timing here. Dragon Form up in 5 seconds. So you want to make this hit where you get a kill and then you immediately Dragon Form pressure mid tower. You know you have a bit of time on Ravage as well if you've been...
Ooh, and HFN is in the vicinity. Matthew going to get stunned from the Dragon Tail, but not from the Cookie. Snapfire ult to fall. That's going to be a freebie on the Tiny.
This is a very good rotation from Quincy.
And the Tier 1 tower is probably going to go down. This is with the Siege, obviously, and the Double Dragon, if you want to call it that.
Will Tide get top tower, though? He is cutting behind. The Siege creep is alive. I think this will be a tower trade. Bottom lane.
Yeah, MSS, this again would be a huge kill with Yawar on the sideline here. Finger of Death to follow, and that is enough.
That is a big one.
Big kill. Despite we talked about the net worth kind of struggling there a bit for Dark Magoo, but if you can... I mean, he's a hero that can definitely bounce back because of the farm potential of Lesh, but obviously a big kill regardless.
You do not want to be behind a Lesh against Viper Terrorblade. It is really hard.
Kind of missed there from the Cookie, but you know, the Dragon Tail to fall, it's more than enough to get yet another kill onto Matthew.
I guess NoPing have pulled back a little bit of their gold deficit by getting that top tower and the kill, but just the overall trajectory of the game hasn't really changed very much in my opinion. Like, you still have this Terrorblade free farming. So is the Luna. She's getting good farm too, but I think in order to enable Luna to carry this game, Leshrac has to be able to walk in. And if you're not keeping up with the Viper and Terrorblade on items, you die in 1 stun here. Even if Abaddon saves you with a Photic Shield, I think you just get chain stunned and still die. Like, he can save you from Earth Spike or Hex or Dragon Tail. If one other spell is in range, you get blasted. Snapfire ult, Viper Strike, you're dead. And yeah, it's no good if he's not able to run in. So he has to try to catch up on farm somehow here. Maybe a smoke move with this Ravage could lead to a mid-tier 1 tower with level 4 Edict. Could be a possible play NoPing are considering right now, communicating about.
Remember, the last Ravage was set up because of the Fog of War.
Yep.
And, you know, Quincy Crew kind of stepping outside their comfort zone, if you want to call it that. They don't have Blink. They don't really have any initiation without this Blink.
He's actually kind of caught up to the Dragon Knight now in Tide, right? He's only 400 gold behind.
Yeah, this has been a huge comeback.
You go back 5 minutes, that was not in the cards.
Indeed.
So,
All right, here
Good
comes
recovery.
the smoke. LOA will likely tank it. The toss into the gush. Definitely don't want to expend a Ravage for this little guy. And that'll eventually be a kill.
That is not really a very big reward from the smoke.
No.
They steal no stacks, they find a 5, and they're going to be forced back into mid immediately here by Quinn, who's also going to get an Invis rune. So that is about as little of a reward as you can possibly get from a smoke. No runes, no objectives, no stacks.
Now,
And
in
one
terms
close.
of the position 1 comparison, as Quinn, like you said, does have that Invis rune, has already popped it. Lazlop pops his Dragon form, gets the Dragon Tail out, but immediately dispelled. And yeah, unfortunate ult here from Mr. LOA. Thought that would be
Yeah.
a good team fight.
I guess if there's no Aphotic Shield coming in there, I see where they're coming from, then they're going to get the Viper Strike off, and that does not get purged by Kraken Shell, so then these globs are going to land and they think they have a kill. But it's kind of unexpected that Abaddon is sitting behind Tide, right? Like you would think Abaddon is sitting behind Luna somewhere protecting her,
Ooh,
but...
another smoke.
All right.
I mean, of course, they still have Ravage, so
Yeah,
can definitely take a fight.
I'm not mad at this. If they can find some sort of angle behind mid, again, there is a potential tower here for the Edict, but this pathing is not going to net them anything once again.
Yeah.
At the very least, they're protecting HFN indirectly with this smoke because they know that this regular smoke path that the Dire might take to hit the triangle of the Radiant is not inhabited. But you're not gaining once again. You got an aggressive ward out. Let's see if they make a play on this within the next 6 minutes that they have in the top Dire jungle. Usually you use this ward to either find the carry, because the carry will sometimes go and farm this area thinking it's safe and you get a good snipe, or you use this to protect yourselves when you're hitting top tier 2. But judging from Dark Mago going back to base, I don't think they have any plans of assaulting this top tower, and effectively that just means you didn't really put much pressure with this smoke on the map, and Quincy are just content to farm. Both Terrorblade, Viper, and Dragon Knight, all 3 of them are getting decent GPM right now. And Lion, by the way, we haven't talked about this very much. He is so far ahead of the other supports. Like,
He's got his blink.
1,500 gold ahead of the Tiny.
And that's MSS, by the way.
Yes.
So it can't ask
High
for a much
impact
better
player.
position 4 to get a lot of farm for sure. It's like the Yap Swords of the world, and
Yeah.
it's crits.
This is going to pay off in a big way, I feel. Obviously, is playing into the Abaddon. It's one of the best solutions for Lion, I think, from a 5 position perspective, but with this, like, even if the Abaddon is ready, just the fact that you can force the Aphotic Shield, that you have your own chain stun, and the burst. Oh, Tide is in a lot of trouble here.
No
Yep,
vision
he is
quite
not
yet.
getting out of here.
They find him on the other side of the tree line, and like you said, especially with that Nether Toxin.
Okay, maybe.
Hey, he needs the stacks.
Okay.
I mean, MSS needs these stacks, man.
Yes, he
That's
does. And he gets the last hit, too. That's the... Just like it did in the bottom kill, right-clicks him to death in the end.
I think we had a conversation about this, but you didn't actually answer my question. This was a week ago, and I remember this vividly, because whenever you ignore me, it's just a painful memory each time. But do you typically go for the HP talent on Lion?
I think you need to have a really good reason, to be honest, to do it. Usually in pro games, when you hit level 15 on Lion, let's say you have like 3 kills, then it's effectively, at that point in time, it's a 200 health talent. You can take 200 health or minus 2 second cooldown on your best non-ulti spell.
Right.
Like, depending on the game. Like, Hex can also be amazing, of course, but your bread and butter is Earth Spike. It's a pretty major cooldown reduction. 2 seconds might not sound like a lot, but when the baseline is 12, going down to 10 is a really big deal. So the reasoning I would have is either you're playing core Lion, or you have a lot of finger kills for whatever reason, or you really desperately need the HP against something. Like every fight you're getting jumped by Tiny or whatever, and this extra bit of health will mean the world to you. But if you're getting jumped by Tiny, you're probably out of position, right? So then you're solving a problem that shouldn't be there to begin with. So most of the time, I think in this tournament, we've almost exclusively seen the Earth Spike cooldown talent, I want to say. I just think it's the stable one for the most part.
Yeah, it's definitely stable. But you can buy both technically, right? It's both HP and CDR, technically speaking. It's not like one of these talents where you literally are not able to purchase something that comes out of like extra damage to a spell, or I guess you can do that too. As tier 2 tower, right? That is actually a freebie for NoPing.
Yeah.
And it's not even in trade for another tier 2.
No, Quincy were flat out just not ready here. I was going to say, like, this game has quieted down quite a lot. Like, both teams are just farming. Probably Quincy feel pretty confident because their Terrorblade's hitting a BKB timing now, and now they can go fight. I personally feel like they should have taken more advantage of the fact that whenever Ravage is on cooldown for the Radiant, their lineup just seems stronger to me, and put a little bit more pressure on the map. But at the very least now they look to be trading bot, and they're turning it into a fake play here. They're going to smoke. There was a ping, though, coming out from Matthew. I think he knows this smoke is happening. Maybe this is a trademark Quincy play that they've seen in replays. Backing off from the tower. Also, the ward that Matthew has down here is...
They don't really layer that properly, but you know, Pandabu able to pop his ult and just get out.
Yeah. That ward down here from the Radiant in the bottom Radiant jungle also.
I thought that they were just going to be happy with that tier 2 trade in the bot lane.
I would have thought so too, but yeah. I'm not sure what it is. Like, Quincy seem a little bit nervous to me, almost in the way that they're playing the game.
They just really don't want to play EG again.
Well, then they should win.
Yeah, they should win. I mean,
if you're nervous about your next opponent, if you lose, then play to win. It's not rocket science.
Well, depending on who you ask here, but yeah, there's a smoke gank now from NoPing. MSS.
This one could work out really well. So Tide Dagger, they have a really good read on where Quincy's heroes are. They're very bunched up here.
Oh boy.
If they could somehow, that smoke fails.
And now they see the Diabolic Edict though. Matthew on the other side of the tower as well, but there's a Blink Hex from MSS. And they followed up with anything. Yawar gets ravaged along with 3 other members of the team, gets his BKB off. Matthew gets a finger, is not going to die to it though. Meanwhile, Yule's onto the lashes. We see the Snapfire ult from afar. Aquatic Shield getting him out of harm's way for now, but he gets stunned into the extra damage from Snapfire. And that is a dead mid Dark Magoo. And now it's going to be followed up with an Abaddon kill as well. So Quincy crew, I thought they were out of position, but MSS ends up finding the opening.
Yeah, that was pretty unclean from both teams, right? Like, the Ravage, it looks good, but they're not connecting their stuns on it fast enough. The Leshrac stun didn't come in time, so he got the BKB off. Then they end up fingering and not getting the kill. And a little bit of, again, not too pretty, but I guess for Quincy, you got the job done. You forced out Ravage, and now you can try to reap the reward of going Roche.
Yeah.
The Dire is definitely super favored in this spot when Ravage is down and Lesh is dead.
Oh, he actually jumps in. Nether Toxin's there as well, though. He's very squishy as a result, and here's the Eclipse to follow from HFN. Can they actually get a kill? Doesn't look like it, at least not to start, but this is the thing.
Is he gonna get this now?
These two metamorphosis type spells between Dragon Knight and Terrorblade are going down soon. So I don't know if Quincy crew can fight anymore.
Yeah, if this ends up giving them a Roche, that was a great play from Tide. If not, it was not a great play from Tide.
Good analysis, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sometimes die good.
Yawar back in melee form, so not nearly as useful as they're going to find the pickoff onto LOA.
He doesn't have buyback. That's 5v4 now. Tide's going to respawn.
Oh boy.
They're actually just getting Roche off of this.
They're going to...
In a very roundabout way, NoPing will get an Aegis on HFN.
Yeah, so Quincy crew has to concede that Roche. I mean, that's rough because, I mean, it is technically risky after taking a fight when you have these two heroes that rely on these relatively long cooldowns to be useful, if you want to call it that. And that's the timing for NoPing. Looks like they're going to focus on this tier 1 tower. Fortifications popped up. Quinn is here now. MSS jumps in, gets the Hex. Snapfire ult from afar. If they can get HFN, it would be pretty big. He pops his BKB. Still has the Aegis, obviously, so not super scared, as Pandabu might be the sacrifice here. So Quincy crew gets something out of it, but still definitely not feeling good.
No, and I don't think they can really claim any collateral here. They're not going to get a tier 2 tower. The waves are well pushed out by NoPing. Ravage is also up again, so there is a possibility for NoPing to group up with Smoke Play, Luna with the Aegis and ulti in 40 seconds and BKB. So in 40 seconds, they're actually very strong here. And you've got to, as Quincy, you've got to be a little bit careful since you're playing without any natural save. A Blink Ravage that's better executed than the last one can just burst any of their heroes out. All right, looks like LOA is going to be found again.
Of course, he's very known for basically the Abaddon, pulling these plays where you get picked off, you don't really care because it takes extra time, but the Snapfire essentially is kind of playing the same way, but he's just getting picked off immediately.
That tower?
Oh yeah.
That tower was 80 health for like 1.5 minutes.
Yeah, they could have definitely denied it.
Right, so a little bit of extra pick-me-up gold here for Dark Magoo. His BKB is really important, by the way. I think both teams' BKB is a crucial item in this game, as it so often is, but whenever you're playing in any game where Terrorblade is involved, playing around Sunder and playing around the setup stunts that allow him to just go to town is always going to be very important.
It's going to be, I mean, depending on the fight, it feels like you need to use these BKBs relatively early, so Sunderplay technically still there for Yawar if you can just survive the onslaught. Leslout, find an opening here onto the ledge, but there's the aphotic shield, and it helps dodge the Earth Spike from MSS.
This is the exact situation that you want to set up as Quincy, huh? Good deny.
Okay.
You want to force the aphotic shield with a low commitment spell. So what they did there was they did a Dragon Tail, and Abaddon comes in for the aphotic, and that Earth Spike just needs to land. If that lands, that's a kill. They couldn't have saved him after that. There's way too much spell burst on the Dire side between Finger, Mortimer Kisses, Viper's damage, but a little bit of a miss. We'll keep him alive.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of a different playstyle than we're used to seeing from Quincy Crew in terms of, like, LOA, we talked about Elder Titan as well, Abaddon. They have these clear type of playstyles that almost like saves, pseudo-saves, where Snapfire just has a cookie.
Yeah.
And he's not getting Ags anytime soon.
It's not the same. This bottom tower, I think you're not interested here. It's an Aegis fight against Ravage. You're going to give this up. Probably see them take the tier 2 as well. Just the man advantage. It makes this very intimidating.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a hard area to hold.
Well, they have vision on MSS. Avalanche trying to get the toss off. But the Hex is there into the Earth Spike to follow. And they should know that the majority of NoPing are on this high ground area. And yeah, they're just going to focus back on this tier 2. And like you said, there's just not a whole lot Quincy Crew can do right now. But they've timed this out, so just over a minute left on this Aegis, and that's when I assume Quincy Crew can try to take a fight.
I think they would like to wait for Terrorblade Scotty if possible. It's a very big item timing for this hero. Allows him to set up his own kills. Just that strong slow. Oh.
Ooh.
That was really close, and that could have gone really bad. But HFN just gets out by the skin of his teeth. Gets level 18 up top, so that's the level 3 in Eclipse. So what BKBs do we have on the Dire? We have 3, right? All 3 cores. And on the Radiant, we have Luna, Lesh, so 2. So 3v2 BKBs. Really going to be the name of the game here to try to poke and prod these BKBs or find a flat-out burst. I think for Quincy, looking for a burst onto a BKB hero is very high risk. If they fail, the Abaddon can save. They can get countered by Blink Ravage. So you probably want to slowly develop the fight and try to survive the Ravage and then go from there.
Yeah, with only 20 seconds, you can tell Quincy Crew are definitely aware of this Aegis timing. See if they can time it well. There's the jumping from Leslout onto the Lesh, into the Viper Strike to follow. The toss out, trying to save him. Yule's keeping him alive a little bit longer. And he'll survive through that onslaught. And we'll see if NoPing can take advantage of this now.
Good word here from LOA, giving them a lot of information if they want to try to pursue more. Terrorblade is currently sitting bottom, pushing this out. They should really be taking this tier 2 tower bot now. Like this has been standing here for definitely 5 minutes too long and has been keeping them away from getting that outpost equalization for quite some time.
And now they're just going to focus on a different tier 2.
Yeah,
of course, this is. Does Quincy Crew try to defend this? Is the question.
Not this one. They need to obviously defend high ground. They're going to be outpushed, I think. Even if their heroes overall can push faster, I don't know if they can actually against Luna Lesh, but obviously the Radiant a little bit ahead there. I'm hearing something.
The Scotty timing is now technically online.
Dragon Knight testing the BKB. It does work.
Oh no.
Leslau.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Using BKB, easy for Leslau.
That is, I mean, that's just another minute you're going to have to wait to be able to take. I mean, his Dragon form was down anyway, so they wouldn't want to fight without that regardless.
That's true.
Still, not a good look there. And it's funny because I feel like, from Quincy Crew's perspective, ever since they got Lelis, because obviously this team has been around for quite a while in some form, but when he took over as the offlaner, that's when this team really took off. He's been kind of the, well, I guess you could call every single player on their team a carry of sorts, depending on the game, but he's been a very, very stable figure in the offlane.
Yeah.
And MSS, you can see, has the Aeon disc now, so...
It can happen to anyone to misclick on the keyboard and use your BKB, right?
Yeah, we've seen it at TI many a time. MSS on the high ground. Leslau's there as well. Oh, the instant Hex onto the Tiny. Looks like the Snapfire ult from afar. Pandabu's going to pop that ult, survive a little bit longer. Avalanche in the toss away, create some distance here. Matthew not quite going to go down here. And the heals up from the Abaddon are going to save him for now. Dark Magoo in the meantime being right-clicked at a newly picked up Scotty of Yawar. Pops that BKB, he's going to destroy the Abaddon, and now they're surrounding the Leshrac. Matthew trying to get some pickoff. They'll find MSS at the very least. But these are 3 big pickoffs here. Triple kill for Yawar, and they only lose 2 supports.
No Ravage used. There was no opportunity there for Oscar to really get in there. And yeah, well, the Luna didn't use BKB either, but she did use Eclipse. This is kind of dangerous. You might have to use buybacks here.
Oh, right? The jumping into the instant Lucent Beam. Now the Ravage comes with the double buyback like you talked about. Now Quincy crew on the run. They're going to lose Lelis to start things out. Make it 2, and Yawar gets Yules from the other side of the tree line. And that is a huge buyback. Actually, he's going to get his Sunder off for now, but I don't think he's getting any kills out of this. Way too much magic damage, as I can actually hear NoPing screaming in the background. They are very happy about this turn of events, and I can't blame them.
That's a very important precast on the Lucent Beam, but at the same time, what a YOLO Blink Dragon Tail.
Yeah.
Like, you're playing into a team that obviously has buyback on defense, and you're a core exposing yourself. Your team has no BKBs ready. That just seemed very uncharacteristic for Quincy. Like, it's just like, look at the risk reward, right? Like, you're blink stunning into fog against a Luna with BKB, buyback heroes on the enemy high ground, and you don't have meta BKB on your cores or any ultis. That was absolutely crazy to me. I can't believe they went for that.
And I mean, this is an Abaddon with a Luna. This is going to be a real fast push. Fortifications pop. They do have buyback onto Yawar, but it's 20 seconds. It'll feel real bad to have to use it now, but if you don't, this is 1 lane of Rax. You can see Quinn spawned naturally. MSS jumps in. Quinn pops a BKB after getting tossed in, and they're going to try to turn this. 8 seconds left on Yawar as he comes back very shortly. Oscar will not go down finally to that last right click of Leslau. So a nice defense from Quincy crew. Can they get more than 1 is the question. It'll be the Tidehunter, it'll be the Abaddon, and I guess they'll call it a day there. Oh, Leslau continuing on. Looked like he faked back there.
Alone.
Blink Dragon Tail.
No one's even close. He's not going to get this kill.
Yeah. Has the spider legs there, but I mean, that they didn't cost any buyback for Quincy crew. That is the very good news.
Yeah.
But did they get melee racks?
They did.
Yeah, so
they got the melee racks in half of the range, and what did it really cost them? They lost the Tide, who already used Ravage, and then lost the Abaddon. It's honestly really, really good from NoPing to push down mid there. I think it's a great choice. And in comparison, let's say Quincy would have bought back on cores to defend there. Yeah. I feel like there's an escape strategy for NoPing because they're not blinking into the enemy base on some sort of stun catch. They're sieging from afar. They have a hard dispel Abaddon protecting if there is a jump in from Dragon Knight or Lion so that they can disengage. So their push is just way safer.
Yeah, now Quincy going to focus on the tier 1 top finally. And I feel like this second Roche, I mean, we've talked about so many times how important it is. I feel like it's more important this game for Quincy crew more than anything because it feels like NoPing are starting to build a nice lead
MSS
here.
With the opener.
Yeah, Leslau jumps in with that Dragon Tail. Yawar pops that Metamorphosis with the BKB activated. Now HFN with that BKB has to run away for now. He's getting surrounded though. Viper Strike applied. Finally the Ravage comes out. Looks like Leslau's going to die in the midst of things along with Quinn. Leslau finally ticking out here very shortly, but they do get the Luna. That's the important kill, but it's going to cost them 3 of their members. Buyback now onto Leslau. Yawar is completely surrounded. Dark Magoo basically has no mana to speak of. Gets mangoed on the sideline. And Yawar and MSS trying to team up to take out Oscar. They should be successful in doing this. Cost them a buyback onto Leslau, though.
This is
and
a Roche.
Roshan is...
He's spawning now.
Is he?
Wait.
Where's Roshan?
Hello?
He's angry after the last game. Nobody took that shard. All right, now the buyback onto the Tidehunter. Looks like the Earthspike's going to connect on 1.
Now he's up.
I mean, 45 seconds, no Luna, no buyback.
Yeah, I don't think you can do it, though.
Yeah, they don't have
not with that Tide buyback. You can't do this.
Yeah, absolutely. MSS, the Aeondas is going to proc. He's going to get surrounded now as Dark Magoo trying to take advantage of these spider legs. Basically has no mana, though, as Yawar trying to chase. Pandaboo gets off the Aphotic Shield. Oscar, this is the buyback here, but he's super tanky right now. Leslau's still in dragon form.
Did Les just TP out right in front of them?
Coming in.
What?
They're going to get the stun out to start things out.
Okay.
Looks like the Snapfire ult is up again. They're going to use it to take out Matthew, and they're going to try to turn this now onto the Abaddon, so they're going to get a couple kills at the very least.
Did they see Lesh TP? I mean, he was low on resources, right? So I guess, but then it's kind of Dude, this is so strange. Like
This is a weird game.
The Tide is committing in. If Leshrac doesn't want to go, that's fine. Like, you're not in a super hurry to defend this Roche. The Dire isn't going to kill it in like 5 seconds, right? So if you wanted to disengage with that Tide buyback and just reset your Lesh and then go contest Roche, that's fine. But they bought back the Tide. He runs in, and all he does is wall for Lesh's escape, and then you're just feeding your 2 supports and giving away Roche.
Right.
That is really, really big for Quincy. I wonder who's going to get the shard. Probably going to be used to fertilize the Roshan pit once again.
Probably, I would say MSS probably. I think LOA's is the best, but he doesn't really have any blink action going.
It is good on Quinn.
Yeah, that's true too. All right, MSS has it for now. We'll see if he consumes
he's going to bring it to
not.
Quinn, I think.
Yeah, the Quinn. Oh, that's true. The Viper one is extremely good. We'll talk about that.
Minus armor is great for the...
Yeah, absolutely. As we see the team fight here, just everybody on top of each other. The Luna dies relatively early. Did cost a couple members Quincy crew, but Yuar just is... He's very survivable in these fights. Has a ton of stats. Obviously, the Sunder's a big deal. We're going to see the Split Earth actually connect on Quinn. Off the BKB, gets the Viper Strike off, and Dark Magoo's just gonna TP out. See if they can turn things around here. Might find the Abaddon again. Again, this is such an annoying hero to kill. It takes quite a bit of time attempting to TP out, but they have the double stun, double action, and down he goes. But yeah, like you said, Quinn did take the shard officially, I believe. So this will allow Poison Attack to work on buildings, and it applies minus armor, which...
He does a lot of damage to towers. He also has Orb of Destruction. Every
true,
time I hear that item, I think of Diablo 2.
Okay.
There you go.
Thanks for sharing,
Yes.
Synderen.
No, it's because the expansion is called Lord of Destruction. It sounds so much like Orb of Destruction.
Oh, okay. Thanks for that little trivia.
There's probably a few 10,000 people watching that have done their fair share of Bale runs in their lives, so they will understand where I'm coming from. All right, here goes the tower.
Now, keep in mind, they're trying to go high ground. This is a Split Earth shard for Leshrac.
That is true.
It is very good for high ground defense. I mean, there's no way they're actually going to commit all the way, because they still have Aegis for another 4.5 minutes. And meta, not sure if that's quite up yet. It actually is. He's going for an MKB next, it looks like.
So I haven't encountered this situation very much in my own game, so I would imagine what you do is you kind of treat this like pseudo-techies. Like, you bait out the Lesh stun, then you go to another lane if you can, right? Like you.
But it's up so often.
It is. If you can push 2 lanes at the same time, though, he has to choose, right? You have Dragon Knight, Terrorblade, Viper, all 3 tower heroes in this game. Make sure you at least place 1.
Leslie pops out. Oh, there's the Ravage. They're trying to burst down Yuar. He has a Satanic. He has Scotty. He has everything. Looking for the Sunder target. Will be on a Tide Hunter. He's just going to get cleaned up immediately. Super fast kill. So the Ravage ends up not working on. That's a really long cooldown.
Wait.
Not available as Quincy crew now take the tier 2 and they just can continue on here.
Was the target actually Terrorblade there?
I believe he was the only one Ravage.
He hadn't used meta. He has Aegis, BKB, and Satanic, and a whole team.
Very strange.
That is literally a 0% probability play. That
literally?
will never work. That will never work. Even if you kill him.
Oh, he's going to Split Earth connecting on Severed Hoods. They're trying to toss Leslau into the tier 4s. He gets extremely low. Looks like he's going to survive for now, trying to dodge those Split Earths. As look at that. Scotty going to work on Dark Magoo. Down he goes, and just like that, Quincy Crew's just going to win the game. How does this happen all of a sudden? Second Roshan into a couple of pickoffs, and now they have all this pushing power.
For what it's worth, I wouldn't ascribe very much of that to the extra shard in this patch. I think
shard is unbelievable.
I don't even know if they needed an Aegis there. Like, that was just crazy.
That is true. MSS is going to get jumped for now, and only 2 members of NoPing trying to at least get 1 kill.
Good Sunder.
The Sunder save from Yuar, and now Luna goes down. She does have buyback. Remember, this is not the tournament life's on the line, but loser will play EG in the lower bracket. Buyback onto both Luna and Leshrac, and still Quincy crew in numbers. They still have Aegis. They still have everything. MSS does die, does have buyback, though. We'll expend it immediately as you are in enemy lines. The Eclipse went off there for a moment, and they're just going to turn things around. Yuar, Lucid Beam is there. Looks like the Aegis. Oh, actually pops Satanic right as the Aegis went down. Not sure if it's actually going to matter here. The save on the HFN. He'll be able to get into the fountain in time. Yuar, they're playing with their food here, I feel like. Now they might have to back. Quinn gets off the Viper Strike. He's just going to drop shortly after. So Quincy crew are not able to end the game.
Oh, he missed the stun on the
Yuar,
last
yeah, he's still in a lot of trouble, though. MSS, this will be a dieback. They're actually going to buy back onto Quinn. He has his boost of travel. Look at the Snapfire buyback as well. MSS trying to burst down Dark Magoo, but he's being saved by Pandaboo again. HFN, this will be an enormous kill if they're able to find him. Split Earth's just going off all over the freaking map. The shard is unbelievable. Leslau gets bursted down. Finally, that is essentially a dieback. Anybody that dies will be a dieback, and that is a dead Yuar. Quincy crew, what am I watching, Synderen? LOA getting chased now. NoPing starting to come back into this game. No Aegis, No cheese, I believe, and they only get one set of racks? What? What am I watching? Look at that cheese, 3 Satanics used during that time. Oh my goodness.
I mean,
buyback galore here.
That was a really clutch respawn coming in from Panda Boo. I'm not sure we're going to see that in this replay. I don't remember when it happened. It was probably 5 minutes ago. This fight took forever, but yeah, it's actually before this. So he just barely respawned in the fountain, came in with the Aphotic Shield and the Glimmer Cape, and Quincy had no detection.
Yeah. They
would have killed the Lesh there and probably ended the game. All right, great replay. I love speeding it up. Let's go push the other way.
They can do a lot here. Actually, Yuar did get buyback eventually there, so he's going to pop it. But it's 3 versus 5, and I do believe that this is going to be GG in NoPing's favor. Matthew?
Ravage.
You see the Ravage onto Viper. They have the Split Earth to follow. He gets 4 staff. The
Sunder save.
Nice Thunder, beautifully done into the Satanic. So Yuar is very safe and sound as Dark Magoo looks like he's going to go right-click down. Can NoPing actually finish this? The Ancient not quite low enough to actually go for this. HFN pops the BKB, trying to go for all in here. I don't think he's going to get it. He's just getting right-clicked by Yuar and still in meta right now.
Tide is getting it.
Panda. Sadly, Tidehunter didn't get the shard, so he's not able to burst down those buildings, Cinder, and his Panda Boo drops. What am I watching? What is this game?
I can't believe it.
All right, now Quincy crew are perhaps going to finish the game. What is this?
All right.
This is,
down the other way.
This is entertaining, but this is very sloppy play from both sides.
Let's go bottom left now. We were just top right.
All in. All right,
Smoke.
well, the good news for NoPing at the very least, the silver lining right now is I believe those tier 4s are still intact. Their Ancient is not completely exposed. Yeah, 1, okay. Single tower.
There's
you
meta.
gotta go throne here, right? 60 seconds no Lesh, 40 seconds no Abaddon.
I was going to say this should be enough, but I'm going to reserve my judgment of what is enough right now. Gonna have to wait and see how this goes.
All right, we can see that shard from Viper going to work onto the tower and the minus armor from Snapfire. They're decimating these buildings, and Quincy crew looks like they're gonna somehow win this game. I don't even understand what I watched. What the hell is this? This wasn't Dota?
Oh.
Jeez.
I'd love to see
what a game.
I would love to see a reaction of the player cams. I feel like this is the kind of game where you're not it's not joy, right? It's gonna be relief. Like,
I guess.
I think either team winning this game in the way that this ended is probably not going to be happy with the way that they won, but they're going to be relieved, okay, we got it done, right?
Right.
That felt like they had to run a marathon to cross the street. That was really...
Well, if crossing the street is winning a game of Dota, sure.
Yeah, it was, like you said, super entertaining, but... Depending on how your perspective on it, probably for some of the wrong reasons. But yeah. I mean, it's always thrilling to watch a game that you have no idea how it's going to end. But let's, thinking ahead to the further stages of the tournament. Now, Quincy Crew is top 6. If you want to get higher than top 6, this is not going to cut it. Like what we saw today in this series will not beat the opponents they have left.
Yes.
So you need to, take a breather, be relieved you got this done, you got the win, but there were so many mistakes from both teams in this game compared to what we've seen from the S-tier teams here. And, you're getting further in the upper bracket, those are the teams you're going to be facing. So you got to clean up your game from this.
This was, I mean, again, like you said, very entertaining, but extremely sloppy from both sides. And that's not something I was expecting, especially for, I mean, I haven't watched as much NoPing, but Quincy Crew have just dominated in the last couple months. And this was not the same team that I've been used to casting. So
well, it is. There's the nerves of the big stage.
And they haven't technically played an official match in a long time.
Right, and the level of competition might be different. Most of the opponents they face in the NA DPC might be significantly weaker than NoPing, but you would argue, they beat EG, who we would say on paper are definitely a stronger team, probably than both of these teams right now with what we've seen today. But that's the beautiful thing about a double elimination tournament and having time is that you can learn a lot from a game like this. You have time for NoPing, you have until tomorrow. For Quincy, you have 2 days. Figure out, clean up your play, and show up stronger for the next series for both of them.
Yeah, so that was an intense series. I'm sweating profusely because of the excitement that was had. I thought each team won at 5 different stages of the game. I'm very confused. Let's see if the panel can break it down for us.
Thank you very much.